Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Have you heard about the new quarantine 15 phenomenon? This is the 15 pounds that all of us, or most of us, have gained during this pandemic situation, this lockdown, when we've been at home and spending a lot more time in the kitchen and eating than in the past perhaps. But I want to talk to you today about the 10,000 step myth and the exercise that you really should be doing as we get older and move forward into this amazing time in our world. Now, Joy Stevenson-Laws is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this article on the 10,000 step myth, which I found absolutely fascinating. Like many people, I have, set myself the goal of walking 10,000 steps a day and thought that was the way to really exercise, my alternative to going to the gym, which if all of you know me, I don't really like that much. But it's so important now that we are living in a world where we can't get out and travel, we can't walk as much, we can't, just interact with the world in the same way, that we do exercise that's actually going to help us not only feel better, but be healthier. And in Joy's article, she puts a lot of really fascinating research links. So I advise you to take a look at that, because what she talks about is this 10,000 step myth that a lot of us follow. And she calls it a myth because, well, it has some truth to it, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it really is not what you think it is. Now, it's generally accepted that the 10,000 steps is what's going to make us healthy and strong and to, be an equivalent of a good exercise regime. Well, did you know that there is a story behind the 10,000 steps? Now, it started at the Tokyo Olympics, I think it was, in 1964. Way back then, the Tokyo Olympics, there was a pedometer that was marketed. It was a new product called the Mamco Key. It was a device for measuring the number of steps that you took. And it was marketed so well that it became part of popular culture. It just became part of the way that we look at cool things to do to stay healthy. And I was so surprised by this, but it's true. And now, so this 10,000 step myth or story continued, and it was sort of rejuvenated recently, several years ago, as what you should be doing as your goal. Now, there's nothing wrong with walking, and there's nothing wrong with walking 10,000 steps, but some of the research that has been done recently shows that really it doesn't matter how many steps you walk. That isn't the only thing that's going to help you lose weight. Back to the quarantine 15. That's those extra pounds that we're all carrying about. So when it comes to preventing weight gain, there's no magic bullet, of course. We know this, and I've written and talked about this so many times. There's no way that you're going to be able to just, walk away the pounds. You've got to walk, even if you walked 15,000 steps, you would actually not lose the weight that you're probably thinking you will. So Brigham Young University did this research. You might want to check it out because it kind of puts this into perspective. So let's go back to the beginning. Is there any benefit in walking 10,000 steps every day? Yes. But walking alone, as I said, is not the only thing. What does it do? Well, it obviously can reduce your blood pressure. It reduces your cholesterol levels. It can help you to fight diabetes and other illnesses, chronic illnesses. There's no doubt that walking 10,000 steps helps. And of course, there's many benefits to walking in general. It can help with your posture, any back pain that you might have. It just generally does improve your quality of life to get out into nature. And if you're doing the 10,000 steps at home, well then, with some online help, that's okay too. But it really does, I think, help to address the depression that can come from not being able to go to the gym perhaps, and they're not opening in many places of the world even now. And it's good for your heart. It helps your heart health. Absolutely, no doubt. But what else can you do? Well, the lack of mobility really is related to so many different strands of our health and well-being, not just our heart health and cardiovascular, our blood pressure and so on, but it also psychologically makes you feel like you're getting on with your life, you're moving forward, you're doing something constructive, and it actually increases just your whole quality of life. So I think there's something definitely to it. But what do you do? Well, you don't need to walk 10,000 steps a day. There's other things that you can do to complement that will really, really help. according to the research, if you even did just 5,000 steps, or I think 4,400 is the number they give, you actually, 45 minutes of kind of brisk walking, then that would be okay. I mean, that would be helpful if you were doing good eating habits, meditation and other sort of calming activities. It's just part of a plan. I think that's the way that Joy is trying to position this. The walking is great, but it's part of, or should be part of, a bigger plan. In fact, they say in the research that 7,500 steps is the kind of cap where it starts to make any difference. If you walk over that amount, that's great, but it's not significantly going to help you to lose weight or to see dramatic developments and positive impact in your life. So you can do things in addition to walking those 10,000 steps, in a sort of exercise mode. You can do things like walk upstairs whenever you have an opportunity, or park your car if you drive, at the back of the car park and walk to the shop. Even that is a couple of hundred steps. And I think that that's what's important, is that you incorporate the walking 10,000 at the end of the day, the total number that you walk, just as part of a whole attitude to moving your body, doing something proactive to stay healthy. Now, of course, the other thing I mentioned earlier was about brisk walking. This is the thing. Don't just amble. If you can walk briskly, moving your arms, that's another really positive thing. So thing is, if you are looking for a whole aging proactively program, incorporate the 10,000 steps, but don't think it's the myth of it's gonna wipe away all that belly fat, all those extra pounds. It's just not gonna do that. Exercise is half of the equation. Your diet is very, very critical. Now, how many of you spent a lot of time in the kitchen the last few months? I'm not a big chef. I'm not good at cooking. I've never learned. I've talked about that on my channel before, but I thought, oh, this is fun. I'll make scones and cupcakes and biscuits and pancakes and all kinds of fun things I've never learned how to make before. And I did, and it was fun. I ate all those scones, and I gained the quarantine 15 or maybe 10, but it was a lot. And then I thought, well, here I am in the kitchen. What's in my fridge? What is there? And it was because I was eating all these high cholesterol, flour-based, scones and cookies and so on. My fridge was full of things that would support that, butter and other, sugars that really were contributing overall to just not eating well. So if you incorporate exercise into your life, also incorporate a good diet. I don't need to tell you this. I mean, everyone knows this, but there's something about just saying you're not alone if you didn't do that. It's okay to have taken some time here just to pamper yourself with some comfort food. But now we're back, certainly not to any kind of normalcy. We know this. It's all around the world. Things are still in chaos. And as you're probably watching this, in your town or city, it's probably not that settled, or it's not the same that you thought it could be or should be after several months. But if you can do these things with a sort of holistic attitude, great food will of course give you the energy to get out there and walk, which in turn will give you an attitude of constructive, healthy aging. As we get older, this becomes, I think, the most important thing. And if anything, this virus and the pandemic has done for me, it has made me realize that I am in control of this. We've all been working at our hardest, washing our hands with sanitizers, doing things to stay really, really healthy. But it's also given me the inspiration and the motivation to get out there and to walk without counting, just to walk and exercise, to eat healthy food, to meditate more frequently, and to do the things that create a holistic program. So what are you doing? I'd really love to know, did you gain the quarantine 15? I laugh as I say it, but it's a serious issue for a lot of people. Did you gain that 15 pounds or less or more? What did you do to keep well, and how did you change your exercise habits? Are you a walker? Do you love to walk? What do you find most beneficial from it? Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention one really important thing that everyone forgot to do, or at least I forgot to do during this time, and that's to stay hydrated. I've got my bottle of water here by my side always. And yes, I shouldn't be using plastic. I know I should have a glass, but it's just sometimes easier. And I do recycle. But anyway, here I am preaching to the converted. I know most of you are doing this, but if you're a walker, have you found it useful? How many steps do you walk a day? Are you following that myth of 10,000, or do you do less and at peace with that, or maybe a little bit more? Maybe you're a runner. I'd love to know what you've done to stay well and fit during this time. Share with the community here. Please check out our other videos. We've got so many topics, about 1,700 videos now on our YouTube channel. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. You just press that subscribe button, and also the notification bell. It's a little bell somewhere that you can ring or press, and it just will then tell you when new videos that I've recorded are released. But thank you so much for your support, for joining us here, and I hope this has been an inspiration to get out there and take a walk and stay well, stay healthy, stay strong. Take very good care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.